There's something in my pocket. It belongs in the baptistry. It's this little rectangle. This little rectangle that all of us seem to have. This little rectangle that as I speak, as I preach, someone is texting me. Don't know who, but someone's doing it. Okay? I want us to talk about this little rectangle today. This is our series on the family that we do from Mother's Day to Father's Day every year, and this year we're talking about wisdom. We're talking about wisdom for families. And today, I can't think of anything that families need more wisdom on than this. Seriously. You may think that this is just a cute little tool that you can have, that you can just hand to a child at the dinner table so they'll hush so that you can enjoy your meal. You may think that this is a cute little thing, but it is something that can be dangerous. And I feel compelled to preach on it. I get on the internet a lot, and I read what people say, and I follow a forum on the internet that is for teachers. It's where teachers come and talk about things. And I am seeing repeatedly conversations among teachers that young people today are having more difficult learning than any generation that they've taught in the past. And you know what I think it is? And this is just a hypothesis, and this is their hypothesis as well. It's this. It's this. It's young people getting one of these shoved in their hand when their brains aren't formed yet. I think this is an important thing for us to talk about. And the way I want to talk about it is I want to talk about a brief little theology of technology. A brief little theology of technology. And it's called A Tale of Two Towers. A Tale of Two Towers. After the creation of Adam and Eve, you begin to see the emergence of technology, derived from precious metals and minerals that God placed in the world for man's use. In fact, the production and use of technology is baked into the story of man's redemption. Mankind starts in a perfect garden, and by the end of the story, God will make His abode with man in a similar garden. But Revelation teaches that it will be a garden city, showing the introduction of technology to God's creation. When you get to Genesis chapter 4, you find these two men named Jabal and Jubal. They are descendants of Cain, and they are known for making tents and musical instruments. Jabal and Jubal's younger brother, Tubal, Cain, Tubal, if you're looking for a baby name, Tubal, okay, made instruments of bronze and iron. Eventually, after a destructive flood, humankind thought to build a tower using the technology called the brick. The brick. They wanted to build this tower to the heavens. The Tower of Babel then became a monument for humankind using technology and advancement as a means of forgetting God and leaving Him behind. Let us make a name for ourselves. Let us build a tower into the heavens and make a name for ourselves, they said. Technology continued to increase and improve, some for good, some for bad. By the time of the Roman Empire, technology was booming, and one of the pieces of technology Romans were most known for was the crucifix, the Roman cross. A torturous form of execution meant to show thieves, murderers, and insurrectionists as an example to the greater population. It was a truly heinous invention. But I want you to note what God did. God decided to enter into our world and use this heinous technology, the cross, to be the central moment in which He saved the world. Jesus died on the cross and used humankind's evil technology as the means and symbol of salvation, changing history forever. This towering, looming torture device is now an image that shouts good news all over the world. Technology has continued to advance to the point that today we have the smartphone. It is not merely a phone. And this is the principal issue with it. It is not merely a phone. It is a phone. It is a camera. It is a video camera. It is a music player. It is a movie screen. It is a TV screen. It is a gaming platform. It is a calculator. It is a compass. It is a calendar, etc., 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 ad nauseum. It can be a million different things. Technology has taken thousands of modern comforts and packed them into a tiny rectangle that fits in your pocket. Question. Here's the question. Is this one of the good technologies, like the plow or the cotton gin? Or is it more like the Tower of Babel or the cross? Another question. What is this little rectangle doing to us? And how can we make sure that we redeem it the way that Jesus redeemed the Roman cross? That's what I want us to think about today. How can we make sure that we redeem it the way that Jesus redeemed the Roman cross? And so, I want us today to look at some ways your phone is changing you. Most of this comes from, much of this comes from a book called 12 Ways Your Phone is Changing You. I know, it's a very inventive title, but it is a fantastic book. And I would highly suggest you read it. There are 12 ways. I'm going to share with you 3. Okay, this is already a very long sermon, and I'm already almost out of time, and there's no way that I could share with you 12. But I would encourage you to get the book and read it for yourself. I think that you would be very, very informed by it. The first way, and I think this is probably the way that most people in this room are being changed by the smartphone. And that is, we are addicted to distraction. We are addicted to distraction. Almost 10 years ago, a study was put out that we check our smartphones an average of 81,500 times each year. Okay? The average person checks their smartphone 81,500 times each year, or once every 4.3 minutes. Once every 4.3 minutes. Statistically speaking, whether you are using it for the Bible or not, you will check your phones approximately 5 times before the end of this sermon. Do you know that? Many of you are scrolling Facebook Marketplace right now as we speak. And that's based on 2016 stats. That is before TikTok and short-form video scrolling became ubiquitous with owning a smartphone. That is to say, it's worse today. It's worse today. You can pull out your smartphone. If you have your phone out and you're looking at it right now, hold it up, okay? Just be honest. Admit it. Admit it. If you have your phone out and you're looking at it right now, hold it up. Come on. Come on. Y'all are liars. Okay. You can take your phone and you could start watching videos on your phone, and 3 hours later, you don't know what happened. A 3-hour time dump. Just like that. Just like that. What's so bad about this, you say? What's so bad about that? Well, a study showed recently that the more addicted you become to your smartphone, the more prone you are to depression and anxiety, and the less able you are to concentrate at work and sleep at night. And that's the tip of the iceberg. So why do these distractions, distractions lure us? Why do we seek to take this little rectangle in our pocket and just, let our brains go comatose for a few minutes or a few hours? Why do we want that? Why do we want that? There are probably some good reasons for that, but I want you to consider 3 bad reasons for that. We use digital distractions to keep work away. We use digital distractions to keep work away. I'm guilty of this. I don't want to do anything, so I'm going to distract myself. Happens all the time. It happens all the time. We use digital distractions to keep work away. Number 2, we use digital distractions to keep people away. Have y'all been to a grocery store lately and seen how many people have earbuds in their ears so that they don't have to talk to you? It's a lot. It's a lot. We use digital distractions to keep thoughts of eternity away. We use digital distractions to keep thoughts of eternity away. I don't want to think about the brevity of life. I don't want to think about the consequences of my actions. I don't want to think about the bad stuff that might happen. I don't want to think about those heavy subjects, and so I am going to think about mindless subjects. I think we all do this. But here's the issue. It is difficult to love and serve God with all our heart, strength, soul, and mind when we are diverted and distracted. That's the issue. It is difficult to love and serve God with all our heart, soul, strength, and mind when we are diverted and distracted. So what will unchecked distraction do to your soul? And that's really the what we want to hear about. We're addicted to distraction. We're just distracted by this phone. What will it do to your soul? Unchecked distractions blind souls from God. Unchecked distractions blind souls from God. These are the most dangerous distractions. Worldly worries, anxieties, pursuits of wealth, self-centered concerns with personal security that suffocate the soul by snatching away seeds of truth, choking off the fruit of the gospel and rendering its hope irrelevant. I want to share with you a personal confession. Okay? Personal confession to you right now. So, I regularly turn my smartphone into a dumb phone, okay? Because I can't be trusted with it. It is a tool of immense power, and I can't be trusted with it. And I get addicted to distraction. And so I often try to turn it into a dumb phone. And I'll tell you how to do that if you want me to tell you how to do that. It's not all that hard. I do that often. But one of the things that I keep on even my dumb phone is shopping apps. And you know what I do when I'm bored and or I'm feeling bad for myself or I'm down? I do a little bit of retail therapy. Do you ever do retail therapy? Anybody in here engage in retail therapy? Oh, it just feels so good. I'll just go and I'll look at this and I won't buy anything. But guess what? I end up buying something. And I open up Amazon and I look at all of the cheap junk that's on there and I think, oh, that would be so cool if I had that. And I make myself feel better. Friends, that is a worldly distraction that the enemy is licking his chops for. Licking his chops. Jesus said in Matthew 13:22, he said, as for what is sown among thorns, this is the one who hears the word, but the cares of the world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word and it proves unfruitful. What happens if you have the cares of the world and the deceitfulness of riches and all of those things and you have it 24/7 right here in this little rectangle that you can look at any time of the day? When you wake up in the morning, it's there. When you go to the bathroom, it's there. When you lay in bed at night and you're supposed to be going to sleep, it's there. And it does not care if you have your mind focused on the right things. It doesn't care. It does not care. They blind souls from God. Number 2, they close off communion with God. God feels distant because we are distracted, like Martha in Luke 21, 34 through 36. And yet He seeks us. He seeks our undivided attention. I don't know how many times I could have opened my Bible and read it and communed with God, but I chose to scroll on my phone. They mute the urgency of God. They mute the urgency of God. There's an interesting passage in 1 Corinthians chapter 7 where Paul tells the church at Corinth, he says, you know what? Getting married might distract you from doing the Lord's work. That's what he tells them. We're in a crisis right now. The gospel needs to be shared. And you know what? Getting married might distract you from doing the Lord's work, from spreading the gospel. And he has this whole argument about it. And I think that from 1 Corinthians 7 can be helpful to us when thinking about modern day distractions. Does this distract me from the urgency of God? Does this thing mute the urgency of God? So what do we need? What do we need in the face of distractedness? In the face of distractedness that comes in our modern digital age, we need watchfulness. That's what we need. We need watchfulness. We need to be people rather than are distracted, but are actually watchful. Paying attention. You ever seen a night watchman, like a security guard at a place that's sitting there and they're supposed to be guarding and securing and all of that kind of stuff, but they're looking at their phone? Okay? They're not watching. Watchfulness. Listen to 1 Peter 5, verse 8. I mean, if there's a more relevant passage today than this one, I don't know what it is. Be sober-minded. Be watchful. Be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion seeking someone to devour. Be watchful. That's what we need. It's watchfulness. But I don't think distraction is the only thing that affects us with this. It's not the only thing. Number 2, we crave immediate approval. Distraction isn't the only thing. We crave immediate approval. And this may not be the way that you use a smartphone at all. You know, and some of you may be sitting here and you don't have a smartphone and you don't have this problem, and that's okay. That's okay. I learned a long time ago that when I preach, I can't be relevant to every person sitting in the pew. If I do that, I'll be relevant to nobody. Okay? But I think some people are struggling with this one. We crave immediate approval. Smartphones have been utilized by corporations with the help of social psychologists to get ads in your face 24/7. They exist to make money. They don't exist to make you happy. They don't exist to help you in your life. They don't exist to be a tool for you, and they exist to make money. Let us not delude ourselves. They exist to make money. One of the ways they get you coming back is by creating a world in which you seek immediate approval from others. Users of apps like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter are coming back to see if their posts and comments are liked. This has replaced being well liked in real life, in the real community. The immediate approval shows up in 2 different forms. Number 1 is the need for praise. I need someone to praise me. I need someone to say, oh, you're just so great. You're just so good. Look at you. Look what you've done. Look at your accomplishments. Have you ever been to a popular, like a beautiful public space lately? Popular public space? A large number of people are here to experience it for the purpose of sharing their experience on social media for likes and follows. You ever noticed? We were at the Grand Canyon, and this guy goes and he jumps from a ledge out to a boulder that is hanging out in the Grand Canyon. Okay? He jumps from this ledge and jumps out to this boulder. And at first I thought, okay, this guy's an adrenaline junkie, right? Okay, he's seeking that adrenaline rush. But there's someone standing on the side, and they start snapping pictures, and this guy starts posing. Y'all like that pose? Okay, starts posing. And I'm like, this guy risked his life to jump out in this boulder just so he could get a picture, just so he could post it on the internet and get fake likes and fake pats on the back and fake praise. Ultimately, this need for praise is born out of a serious pride and self-centeredness. And where pride and self-centeredness are, bad things come. Listen to James 3:14. But if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast and be false to the truth. This is not the wisdom that comes down from above, but is earthly, unspiritual, demonic. For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice. The need for praise is heavy with some people with this device. Number two, the need for acceptance. And I think that this is the more nefarious of the two. The internet has created a space where almost anyone who engages in anything can find a place that accepts them. Did you know that? There are dark, dark corners of the internet that you can go to and find acceptance for anything that you do. The smartphone put that digital place of total acceptance in our pockets at all times and in all places. On the surface, this sounds like it might be a good thing, but it really isn't. If we do not engage with people who differ from us, who disagree with us, who challenge us, we will never be sharpened. We'll never be changed. I think, and this is my untested hypothesis, this is just my opinion, but I think this is why we are seeing more and more alternative and sinful lifestyles today than we have in the past, is because you can bury your face in your phone and be totally accepted and never be challenged. I think it's a huge reason. It's a huge reason. But this ought not to be in the church. Listen to Galatians 6:1. Brothers, if anyone is caught in any transgression, you who are spiritual should restore him in a spirit of gentleness. Keep watch on yourself lest you too be tempted. We ought to be people who are looking out for each other and trying to sharpen each other. I want to quickly move to a third point. We become harsh to one another. We become harsh to one another. This is a third thing, and I think that a lot of people, maybe if you aren't using your phone to get immediate approval from other people, I think maybe this is the one that a lot of people struggle with. We become harsh to one another. I have another confession to make. And this may make me sound bad, and that's okay. I'll take my licks later, and you can be mad at me. But if we are friends on Facebook, I do not see anything you post. As soon as someone besides my wife becomes my friend on Facebook, I unfollow you. And the reason for that is there are many people who want to be my friend on Facebook who are not very friendly on the internet. They say and they post and they share things that are false and that are evil and that are not kind and that are not in keeping with the fruits of the Spirit. And I think this is a serious problem because the smartphone has allowed us to be able to do it all day. Not just when you're at a computer, but all day. The anonymity and the intermediary of the smartphone have produced a world in which people are not afraid to say things to or about others that they would never say to their face. What we are talking about here is the ease at which someone can engage in the sins of gossip and slander. Friends, just because it may be true doesn't mean you need to say it. That is still slander. I hear that all the time. Well, it's true, I should be able to say it. No, it doesn't. Just because it might be true doesn't mean that you can say it. That's still slander. That's still speaking against someone. And listen to what the Bible says about slander. Listen to this list of sins that it's included in. Romans 1:28. And since they did not see fit to acknowledge God, God gave them up to a debased mind to do what ought not to be done. They were filled with all manner of unrighteousness, evil, covetousness, malice. They are full of envy, murder, strife, deceit, maliciousness. They are gossips. They are slanderers. They are haters of God, insolent, haughty, boastful, inventors of evil, disobedient to parents, foolish, faithless, heartless, ruthless. Friends, people who slander other people, who speak about other people and say whatever they want to say without thinking about the consequences, they are people, this text says, have forgotten about God. They've forgotten about God. And we're doing this. The casualness with which people can say hurtful things about others in the name of fandom. Well, it's just sports. It's just sports. I mean, have you heard some of the stuff that sports fans say to other sports fans? It's disgusting. In the name of politics, and even in the name of religion, it's alarming. We need to remember that people are ultimately not our enemies. Other people are not our enemies. Paul says in Ephesians 6, you need to put on the whole armor of God that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil, because we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers of this present age, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. It's not other people, it is the devil. I don't care if they root for another team. I don't care if they're from a different part of the country and you think that they're, fill in the blank. I don't care if they have a different political persuasion. I don't care if they have different likes and dislikes. I don't care if they listen to a different kind of music. We don't slander them. We don't. And all of this, we didn't even scratch the surface of the physical issues caused by smartphones and the mental issues caused by smartphones, like lack of focus, depression, anxiety, posture problems, short attention span. We've just touched on a few out of the many spiritual issues. So what is the solution to this little rectangle in our pockets? What is it? What is the solution? I want to introduce you to Satan's nothing strategy. Satan's nothing strategy. This comes from C.S. Lewis's book, The Screwtape Letters. This is a tactic of Satan. It leaves a man at the end of his life looking back in lament and saying this: I now see that I spent most of my life in doing neither what I ought nor what I liked. Let me read that to you again. I now see that I spent most of my life in doing neither what I ought nor what I liked. That is Satan's nothing strategy. And I think that this is a tool that he uses. Now, I'm saying all this, does that mean you need to get rid of your cell phone today and you can't use it? I don't know. I don't know what it means for you. I don't know what it means for you. But if you can't take your eyes off of this thing, like I've struggled with sometimes, we got to do something. Because it's not good for us. It's not good for our bodies. It's not good for our minds. It's not good for our souls. We've got to do something. We have to, rather than looking back on this at the end of our lives, Satan's nothing strategy, we need to see it now. We need to look beyond the thing in our hands and see the Lord as what truly matters. And so I leave you with Colossians chapter 3, verse 1. If then you have been raised with Christ, seek the things that are above, where Christ is seated at the right hand of God. Set your minds on things that are above, not on things that are on earth. Let's look past this little rectangle. Let's ask the question, is the rectangle in your pocket a tool or a master? A tool or a master? I know that this was an unorthodox lesson. I know it was a long lesson. I know we're not going to beat the Baptists today. We're not going to beat them to lunch. But I sincerely want you to understand just what goes on. Maybe this isn't an issue for you, but it's an issue for your grandkids. It's an issue for someone you know. And we need to take it seriously. We need to take it seriously. It is a serious modern issue that can make us drift away from God. So I would suggest to you, if you're feeling bad right now, if you're feeling down and depressed, if you're feeling like you're in a rut, like I have been, I want to suggest to you that it could possibly be because we're stuck on this thing. And we need to put it down. We need to put it down and set our eyes on Jesus. I want to offer you an invitation today. Jesus died for your sins. He took a piece of technology that was an evil piece of technology, and he redeemed it for good. And I want to offer you an invitation today to accept that sacrifice of his, to come to the cross and repent of your sins and kneel at the cross and to be buried with him in baptism and to rise in newness of life. I want to encourage you to do that, to accept his redemption of that tool. And I want to encourage you, if you have one of these rectangles in your pocket, I want to encourage you to see it as a tool and not as a master. Ensure that it's a tool and not a master. This invitation is for you. If you need something, if you need prayers, if you need help, if you want to come to me and ask me, how do I get rid of this thing? I've got ideas. I've got a sure, foolproof method to brick your cell phone right now. Turn it into a dumb phone so that you can get back on with your life and still use the tools that you want to use. I know exactly how to do it. I'll tell you how to do it. It costs $50. That's it. And you're not paying me, okay? It doesn't cost $50 for the advice. The thing that you need costs $50. I will tell you how to use it right now. If you need something, don't hesitate. We're going to sing an invitation song. Come now as we stand and as we sing.